Hey, this is Herald sports writer Manny Navarro, joined once again by Andre Fernandez, our high school sports writer here on the campus of Miami Central High School. Dre, we are past week 6, the midpoint of the season. So many impressive games last week. Let's start off with Booker T. Washington, our number 1 ranked team, went on the road. Huge win in Las Vegas against Bishop Gorman.
Huge win and a tough win, too. I mean, Booker T found themselves in some serious jeopardy in the fourth quarter, 14-12, needed to make a big play. Bishop Gorman had the ball with a chance to shock the nation, really. And Tyrone Robinson forced the fumble. Terry Jefferson, again, making a big play on defense. They recovered the fumble. That swung the momentum. Treon Harris scored a couple minutes later. And before you knew it, the Tornadoes were flying back home as the number 1 team in the country. A little unfortunate injury with Akil Knowles. We saw how ugly that twist of the ankle was. Fractured ankle, but the kid's going to be okay. Obviously, his season is over, but right now, 3.4 student, and getting into college is the number 1 priority right now to get an opportunity to play college football.
Biggest game down here last week, and it was a barn burner. Miami Jackson against American Heritage. The Patriots end up knocking off the number 1 ranked team in Class 5A, beat them 26-22. Jackson was down big in this game and then ended up coming back to take the lead, but Heritage showed some poise.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, they kept getting short fields and taking advantage of that, maybe a couple of mistakes on special teams. And really, the guy I was impressed with, I think composure-wise, that he had struggled with some injuries earlier in the year, was their quarterback. I mean, Torrance Gibson, tremendous game conducting that offense. Obviously, they only had to go, like I said, a few short fields late in the game. They ran the football well. Sonny Michel had an 84-yard run that accounted for most of his yardage, but it was Gibson's poise, rolling out of the pocket, evading that tough pressure by Jackson High and finding receivers open, especially that last play. Isaiah McKenzie is an absolute beast.
I've been telling you for weeks.
Not just kick returns. As a wide receiver, the catch he made to keep his foot down the corner of the end zone that ended up winning that game was huge. And Heritage, they know there's going to be a round 2 between those two. They think it will be, unless Gibbons messes it up. Let's not forget about Gibbons. But if there is, it's going to be a hell of a game.
Hey, another big game that I was at actually last week. North Miami knocks off North Miami Beach. Dre, they end up winning this game. The Pioneers improved to 5-0, but thanks really to a gutsy call, they ended up calling a fake punt in the fourth quarter, clinging to a 2-point lead, changed the entire game. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, North Miami got on my case a little bit because I know I picked against them a couple times, and I still wanted to see them win a game like this. Well, guess what? Now I'm sold. They won this game against a good NMB team who's better than their record shows, and I think now North Miami's looking like a playoff team. They still got 2 big tests coming up this week, Coral Reef this week, Hialeah the following week, but this team is a legit 5-0 right now.
Northwestern, man, talk about saving their season. They've come back, pull off a 27-26 victory over Norland. This one came right down to the wire.
Yeah, they definitely, I mean, you look at this game, it looked like Norland was regrouping, getting their season together. You know, after those first 3 tough losses, they were on a roll, and they had the chance to win it, but it shows you, it may not seem important at the time, but how important the kicking game can be. I mean, it's rare to get good kickers at the high school football level. Norland found that out this week. They had a chance to tie the game, send it to overtime, and keep fighting. They got left on the field by Northwestern, who's back in the dogfight now for the District 16-6A race.
All right, 2 small school games we want to touch on. Westminster absolutely crushed Chaminade. You were there for that. How impressed are you with this Westminster Christian team?
Well, they didn't look so good against Champagnat early on, but it looks like that was the one mistake they had along the road. They had an injury in that game up front in the offensive line that hurt them. But Champagnat, obviously, we know what a good job they're doing this season. But about Westminster, I think they're right back. You know, they clinched the district title now. Chaminade's been struggling. But this Westminster team, Class 3A, is not as strong as it's been in years past. So you never know. If they get on a roll, especially late, they've put together a pretty good schedule. They have a good game against Gulliver coming up. Maybe it's a good time for the Warriors to finally make a run.
And what about your wife's alma mater, the LaSalle Lions? Come back, beat Westminster Academy on the road to stay unbeaten.
Hey, the household's 12-0 combined, Champagnat and LaSalle. So, hey, life is good right now. But
Braddock not doing so well for me.
Braddock not doing so well. Maybe they'll get a win soon. But the Royal Lions, definitely all the credit in the world. Another team that I think was maybe overlooked a little bit. We thought Westminster Academy was the favorite going in. And both teams will be in those playoffs in the Southeastern Football Conference later on. But LaSalle in prime position to make a run for that game down at FAU in mid-November.
Football's getting exciting. We're past the midway point now. The games really count. We'll be back with our picks for this coming week.